Hello friends, today in this video we are going to see few more commands under modified toolbar. So let's start with the first command, which is chamfer. Chamfer is actually providing an inclination to the corners. So like here in this drawing we can see that this corner is inclined at an angle of 53 degree in such a way that this horizontal distance between these 2 points is 30 and the vertical distance between the same point is 40. And same chamfer you can see to the opposite side of it. So how to do that we will see. So let's draw a square of a size 100 by 100. And here we have a square. Now we will try to use a chamfer command to provide an inclination to this corner. So go to the modified toolbar and select chamfer and read the command prompt. Select first line, or in rectangular bracket you can see undo, polyline, distance, angle, trim, etc. So here we will focus on the two things, that is the distance and the angle. So if you know the distance, then you select the distance, and if you know the angle, then you select the angle. So here initially let's say that we know the distance, which is, you can see here, 30 and 40. However, in this case, this 53 is an excess dimension which is not required at all. Alright, so just assume that we don't know the angle. What do we know is these distances 30 and 40. So if you know that, how to use this chamfer command, let's see. So select distance. So for that we type D and say enter. Now let's specify the first chamfer distance. So let's say 30 is going to be our first chamfer distance. Enter. And then specify the second chamfer distance. Here it's 40. Say enter. Along which line you are going to have a distance 30. So select that line first. So here we want a 30. So we will select this line first. And along this vertical line we need a 40. So this is our second line. So we will select that line later. And here we have a chamfer to one of the corner. What if we know one of the distance and an angle, like distance is 30 and angle is 53, still you can give a chamfer to the corner. So how to do that? Let's see. So once again go to the modify and select the chamfer, and this time as we know the angle, so we will type A for angle and say enter. And read the command prompt. Specify the chamfer length on the first line. So let's say that it's 30 and enter. And then specify the chamfer angle from the first line. So it is 53 and say enter. Command prompt is select first line. So select it along which you want to have a 30 mm distance. So this is the line along which the distance will be 30. So we are going to select it. And then we are going to select the second line. And here we have the same chamfer, but we did it in another way where the angle was known. Now let's see another command, which is smoothing out the sharp corners by providing some radius. Like here you can see this corner is not sharp, but it is rounded off, and the radius of that corner is 20. And here in Autocad we call it as fillet. So if you want to round off the corner by providing a smooth curve to it having specific dimension like a radius, we use fillet command. So let's try to do that. For that, go to the modify toolbar and select the fillet just below the chamfer. Click on it, read the command prompt, select first object, or in a rectangular bracket, undo, polyline, radius, trim, multiple. So here as we know the radius, which is 20, which we have to give it to the corner. So we will select radius by writing R in a command bar and say enter. Specify fillet radius. So it is 20. So we will put 20 and say enter. And then select the corner edges one by one. And here we have a fillet to that corner having a radius 20. So let's do that with another corner. So here we will use a right click shortcut, repeat fillet. No need to provide the radius because the radius is going to be the same, 20. If you want to give another radius to this corner, then you have to put R again and then give the another dimension to the radius. But as here we are going to give the same radius to another corner, no need to put the value again 20. Simply click on the edges and here we have the fillet. So this is what the difference between the chamfer and the fillet command. Now let's look at another command, which is a break command. So let's create a situation for that. Let's say that you want to draw a center line from this end to this end like this. But you realize that these extensions are quite far and you want to delete the sum of the portion of the center line from the ends. So in that case you can use a break command. And obviously you are going to find it in modify toolbar. And here it is break. So here you have to select the location from which you have to cut this line. So we are going to cut it from this till this end. So like this, very easy. Let's repeat it. We are going to cut it from this location to the end. So this is what the use of break command. Now let's see another most important command, which is an array command. So for that, let's create one geometry. So let's say that we want this object to be placed along this bigger circle in such a way that the center point of every object is lying on the circumference of this circle. And the number of instances of this object which we want, say 8, that we will do it with an array command. So go to the modify and select an array command. Here you find the 3 different ways: path array, rectangular array, polar array. And here, as we are going to place our circle along a circular path, so we will select polar array. So select it, read the command prompt, select objects. So which object you want to place along this circular path? So this circle, so select it and enter. The next command prompt is specify center point of array. So specify the center of this bigger circle about which we want to rotate the circular object. And here you can see the preview. So here the number of instances of this object which we want are 8. So if you look at the command prompt, in a rectangular bracket there is a one term which is an items. And we know that how many items do we need? And it is 8. So before we give an input 8, we have to select items. So for that we will type I and say enter. So how many items do we want are 8. So we will type 8 and say enter. And say escape to get out of this command. And here you can see that we have the 8 instances which are equispaced and placed along a circumference of a big circle. Alright. Now let's look at the another command, which is scale command. We use a scale command to enlarge the size of the drawing or to reduce the size of the drawing. So let's see how to do that. Go to the modify, select scale, select the object which you want to enlarge or reduce, say enter. Specify the base point, preferably the center point of that object, and then specify the scale factor. So how much is the representative fraction or the scale you want to reduce or enlarge it? So you want to specify it. So let's say that here we want to enlarge it by 2. So that means every dimension will get double. So we will type 2 and say enter. And here you can see the enlarged view of that drawing. Same thing you can do it for reducing. In that case, you will put the value like 0.5, 0.2, which is less than 1. So that's all for this video. We'll see you in the next video.